Hello, dear students. Today we'll be discussing about the Union Executive, that is the President of India, method of election, powers, and to begin with, first we have to discuss about the parliamentary form of government before analyzing the role of the president. So, India has a parliamentary form of government, which means there exists a very close relation between the legislature and the executive. We know that the executive head, legislature is the lawmaking body. We know the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, they make the laws. And what does the executive, that is the president, prime minister, all the other bodies, what do? They execute the laws made by the legislature. So here we know that, for example, the prime minister of India, he is a member of the Lok Sabha. So the members of the executive are actually members of the legislature, and hence there is a very close coordination and cooperation between these two. Now when we discuss about the president, we have to know in a parliamentary form of government there are two heads. One is the nominal executive, who is having the power only in a formal sense during paperwork, all the business activities of the Indian Union. Everything is done in the name of the president, but who wields the power, means who has the real power, who is the real decision maker? It is the Prime Minister of India. So this is nominal executive, that means having ceremonial powers, just like in Britain we have the monarch. So the monarch is only a ceremonial head, the real power is exercised by the prime minister there. So even in India it is the same case. So head of the Indian state is the president, while the head of the government is the prime minister. So now part 5 of the constitution deals with the union, and these are the articles which you need to remember. So this is article 52, which talks about the president of India, then 53 about the executive power of the union, in whom it is vested, it is given to the president, then how president is elected, what is the manner of election, then for how long he stays in the office of the following, then whether he'll be re-elected, then qualification for election as the president, then conditions of service, oath by the president, procedure for impeachment. So all these are important articles dealing with the president and during his terms of office, like whether impeachment related questions are there, then in case there is vacancy in the office of the president, what, when will the elections be held? So all these powers are discussed in these. Now the election of the president, we know that unlike the prime minister of India, who is directly elected, the president is indirectly elected. And how is he elected? By an electoral college. So an electoral college is constituted. Who are the members? Both the houses of the parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they're elected members. Elected member means that those who are nominated. For example, we know in Rajya Sabha 12 members are nominated, and in Lok Sabha two from the Anglo-Indian community, they do not participate. Only elected members of both the houses of the parliament, then elected members of the state legislative assemblies, and elected members of the Union Territory of Delhi and Puducherry. So we know that Delhi has a state legislative assembly. So they're elected. So only elected members at the union level and at the state level, they all participate and then choose the president. And the election is held according to the system of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. So a quota is fixed. If a candidate is securing that quota, then he or she shall be declared as the. Now, qualifications: citizen of India, 35 years of age, should be qualified for election as a member of Lok Sabha and should not hold any office of profit. For example, if they are if they are getting elected as the president, they have to leave the other profitable office that they are holding at the union or the state government. Then tenure, they hold office for a term of 5 years, and in these 5 years and after these 5 years they can be eligible for re-election. So there is no fixed term that they can serve only a particular number of term. They can be re-elected any number of times, and if they want to resign, they have to resign and address their resignation letter to the vice president, and they can also be removed by impeachment. Now, impeachment of the president, who can remove the president from the office? First of all, if the president violates the constitution, then there is a process of removal, that is impeachment. And who does that? Both the houses. So the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha together can remove the president from the office. So, if the resolution is passed in one house by a majority of two-thirds of total membership, it goes to the other house, which investigates. And in case both the houses find that the president is guilty of violating the constitution, then the president stands impeached. And apart from that, whenever the office of the president is vacant, for example, if the president resigns, if the president is removed because of impeachment, or if the president expires while he is in office, then the vice president acts as the president and till the fresh elections are held. And in case vice president's office is also vacant, then the chief justice of India. So in case chief justice of India is also not present, then the senior most judge of the Supreme Court discharges the function of the president. Now we'll be dealing with the powers and functions of the president. In this lecture, I'll be dealing with only executive and legislative power. So, as I had told you, all executive actions of the government of India are formally taken in his name. So, although he might not play a very important role in taking those decisions, because who is taking the decision? The Prime Minister and his cabinet and council of minister. But all these actions are formally in his name, they are conducted. Then all major appointments, for example, appointing the prime minister, the council of minister, attorney general of India, supreme court judges, UPSC chairman and members, then finance commission members, all of them are formally appointed by the president. And in case of interstate coordination, for example, we know that during the water crisis there has been several attempts to coordinate between the states, so he can appoint interstate councils to ensure cooperation between the states or amongst. He can also appoint commission to oversee whether the condition of SC, ST and other backward classes is proper or not. Then he can appoint the administrators for union territories. We know that union territories have administrators and they are appointed by the president. And in case of any scheduled area and tribal areas, the president has the power to declare any area as a scheduled area. Next is the legislative power. The Parliament of India does not mean only Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The President is also an important part of the Parliament of India. Why is he an important part? First of all, he can summon and prorogue. Summon means to start a session and prorogue means to end the session. We know that the Parliament is held in sessions. Minimum of 2 sessions are held in a year. So he can summon and he can even end the session of the Parliament, and he can dissolve the Lok Sabha also. Rajya Sabha's question is not here because we know that Rajya Sabha is a permanent body, it is not subject to dissolution. Then, after every general election, a new session of the parliament is constituted. For example, in 2014, after 2014 general elections, a new session, a new house was constituted. So those sessions are addressed by the president. Apart from that, he nominates few members. So in Rajya Sabha, he nominates 12 members, and in Lok Sabha, he nominates 2 members. So in Lok Sabha, any 2 members from the Anglo-Indian community are nominated by him, and in the Rajya Sabha, 12 members from different fields of life, especially arts, science, and literature. Apart from that, why is president considered to be an important part of the parliament? Because any bill, we know that the law is made by the legislature. So whenever any discussion is happening on a bill, it will become a law only when it is signed by the president. So after a bill is being passed by both houses of the parliament, it goes to the president for his signature. So He can either give his signature or refuse his signature, but if it is passed again and sent to him, then he is bound to give his assent. Apart from that, for example, if the Lok Sabha stands dissolved, then the president can promulgate ordinances, means he can frame ordinances. If you all are following the corona cases, you will understand that recently government has passed an ordinance that anyone who are discriminating against the doctors will be liable for punishment. They can be even, they have to pay a hefty fine, and they can even be imprisoned. So we know that ordinances are special orders, they have the same effect as law does. So they are issued during extraordinary times, when the either when the house is not in session, or when it is not possible to frame a law. So ordinances are quick fix solution. So the president can promulgate such ordinance. And where does he derive this power from? He derives this power from article 123 of the constitution. However, it is not his discretionary power. Discretion means exercising your own choice, but here he exercises this power on the advice of the council of ministers. So, as you read about more powers, we will realize that the president has no real powers of his own. So, here also, in case of ordinances, he can exercise this power only when advised by the Council of Minister, whose head is the Prime. So, try to solve these few questions and give your comments in the comment section. Who was the first Vice President of India? Who was the first woman President of India? And which Indian president is popularly known as People's Resident? So, give the question number and then answer the questions. I'll be waiting for your reply. In the next part of this lecture, I'll be discussing about the financial power, the judicial powers, the military and diplomatic powers, and a final analysis of the position of the president, which is very relevant for you all to understand. Thank you.